Are you losing weight, but your belly fat doesn't seem to be going anywhere? I lost 80 pounds myself and have coached hundreds of guys who feel like their belly fat wouldn't budge. The truth is, there are 5 signs you're losing belly fat that most men completely miss. So in this video, I'll break down the 5 signs your belly fat is vanishing even if you can't see it. Right before you get your hopes up about spotting a six-pack in the mirror, let's clear up what's actually happening under your shirt. There are 2 types of belly fat. The stuff you can grab, that's subcutaneous fat. And then there's the stuff you can't see, packed around your organs. This is known as visceral fat. Most people expect to see their belly shrink straight away, but that's not how it works. In order to avoid that disappointment, you need to know that your body burns through visceral fat first, the stuff that's hidden under the surface, before it makes a dent into the visible fat you can pinch. And here's a way to think of it. Losing belly fat is like renovating a wall. The first thing to go is the dodgy plaster underneath, the stuff you can't see. Only after that do you get to repaint and notice the difference on the surface. So if you're making progress, the mirror might not give you any credit just yet. This isn't just theory. This is backed by a 2017 study published in Nutrition and Diabetes showing that your body actually targets visceral fat first. But here's the catch. Visceral fat only makes up about 10% of your total belly fat. So even though you're burning through it, the changes aren't always going to be obvious at first glance. That's why so many men get frustrated and give up too soon. But if you know what signs to look out for, you'll keep going instead of just quitting before things start to show. By the way, to go with this video, I've put together a free tracker for these 5 signs. Links in the description. Use it for 8 weeks and you'll have confidence your belly fat is disappearing even when the mirror disagrees. Now let's get into the first sign. As obvious as it sounds, most people never see it coming. About 3 weeks into our coaching, Dave messaged me at 9:30 at night, slightly confused. "I'm losing weight, my face and arms look leaner, just not my belly." Then came the questions I've heard 100 times. Is this an age thing? Do I need to cut carbs? Should I be smashing out more ab workouts? You could practically feel the doubt creeping in. This is exactly the point most men pack it in. I fired back straight away. Belly fat is almost always the last to budge. That's just the way we're built. In a week, we'll check your bi-weekly waist measurements. Guaranteed you'll see it shifting. Sure enough, 7 days later, Dave beat me to the message. Adam, you're right. My waist is down just over an inch. Here's what was really happening. As you lose that deep hidden visceral fat wrapped around your organs, your waist shrinks, even if you can still pinch the same amount of fat on the surface. A classic 1984 study by Hodgdon and Beckett found that waist circumference is a proper indicator of what's actually changing in your body. That's why the US Navy still uses it to this day. So every 2 weeks, grab a tape measure first thing in the morning after you've been to the loo at around belly button height and log the result. That inch Dave lost, that's real progress, even if the mirror's not shouting about it yet. But waist measurements aren't the only hidden sign. The next one completely changed how one client saw his progress. Let's step away from the mirror for a second. I used to have a 42-inch waist, couldn't buy jeans off the shelf. So when a client tells me their jeans are suddenly hanging off them, I genuinely get excited. Take Hossam, for example. The scale hadn't budged in over a week and he was convinced nothing was happening. Then he digs out a pair of jeans from the back of the wardrobe, jeans that were usually tight after lunch. Sends me this picture with the caption, "This is crazy. These were actually tight ones." That's real, practical proof that things are shifting even if the numbers on the scale are stubborn. So if your clothes are fitting better, even just a bit looser at the waistline, that's your early sign. Progress you can feel, not just see. But what if you're still not convinced? Well, there's another sign hiding in plain sight that most people completely overlook. When I first started trying to get lean, I remember staring in the mirror, hoping my belly fat would finally shrink. Week after week, it looked exactly the same. Meanwhile, my arms were suddenly showing veins, my chest looked sharper, and my face was actually starting to look chiseled for once. And yet, all I could think was, why is my belly fat still there? I wasn't alone. I heard it all. It's just genetics. It's cortisol. maybe you're not doing enough ab work. But after helping over 180 clients get below 20% body fat, I've seen the pattern repeat over and over. You almost always spot more definition in your upper body, arms, chest, face, before your belly even starts to budge. That's not random. It's just how the body works. Different areas store and lose fat at different rates, and your body is wired to burn fat from certain places first. So if your arms are getting more vascular and your shoulders are shaping up, don't get discouraged about your stomach. It's a clear sign you're making progress, even if your belly is being stubborn. But here's the thing, your eyes can only tell you so much. There's a way to get undeniable proof of progress, even when your brain refuses to believe it. Here's something that drives most men mad. You're working hard, but every time you look in the mirror, it feels like nothing is changing. You see yourself every single day, so your brain can't register those slow, steady shifts. Here's what you need to do instead. Take regular progress photos. Not just once, but every 2 to 4 weeks in the same lighting, the same time of day, and with the same poses, front, back, and side. Then compare your photos from a month ago to now, not yesterday to today. And here's the best way to think about it. Fat loss is like watching the hour hand on a clock. If you stare at it all day, you'll swear it's not moving. But step away and check back in an hour, and suddenly the change is obvious. So what does that actually mean for you? Progress photos work the same way. They let you step back and actually see the difference over time. And if you're struggling to spot changes, rope in a friend or your other half. Sometimes you need a second pair of eyes to catch what you're missing, especially if your tape measure results are a bit dodgy. Maybe you measured in the wrong spot. Photos give you that extra bit of reassurance. Now, onto the final sign. This one proves what's happening inside is finally lining up with what you'll see on the outside. And it's more important than what you'll see in the mirror. My blood pressure dropped from 180 over 100 to 120 over 80. Let that sink in for a second. I went from pre-hypertensive to normal. From waking up groggy every morning to actually feeling energetic. From being knackered all the time to having steady energy all day. From getting breathless, walking up the stairs, to training 4 times a week without batting an eyelid. So what was actually happening inside my body? As you lose fat, your insulin sensitivity improves dramatically. A 2017 study in nutrition and diabetes found that weight loss itself is the biggest driver of improved insulin sensitivity, and even modest fat loss can make a real difference. Put simply, better insulin sensitivity means your body handles food more efficiently, using it for fuel instead of just stacking it away as fat. You can now go longer between meals without feeling you might commit a minor crime. Your energy's steadier and those wild sugar cravings, they start to dull down. But there's more going on under the bonnet. Visceral fat isn't just harmless storage, it's metabolically active. It releases inflammatory chemicals called cytokines that wreak havoc on your system. Lose that visceral fat and inflammation drops. Suddenly, you've got more energy, better sleep, and your digestion improves, less bloating, more regularity, and you don't feel like a balloon after every meal. Add in better food choices, more protein, more fiber, more water, decent sleep, and a bit more movement, and your digestion gets even better. Then, less sodium, less processed food, less booze. All that means less water retention around your gut. You might even notice you don't feel as heavy after meals. Your stomach doesn't puff up, and you're more regular in the bathroom. These aren't just vanity stats. This is your body telling you it's running better. And you can see it in your blood work too. Improved fasting glucose, better HbA1c, lower fasting insulin. These are all clear signs you're losing fat. You might not spot this in the mirror straight away, but it's one of the best internal markers that you're on the right track for long-term health and losing your belly fat. Right, so if you're ticking off any combination of these 5 signs, your body's doing exactly what it should. Fat loss isn't just about what's staring at you back in the mirror, it's about what's happening inside. Visceral fat melting away, insulin sensitivity on the up, inflammation dropping. The mirror will catch up, but only if you stay consistent long enough to let it. If you want a structured approach to getting down to 15% body fat or below without burning out or turning your life upside down, That's exactly what I do with my one-to-one clients. It's built for men over 30 who want to get lean, stay lean, and still have a life. Links in the description. And what if you're losing fat but there's no sign of abs? You'll want to watch this video next where I show you how to get abs in 60 days. I'll see you there.